If you lived at the time of the American Revolution, pages 60 to 67. Who were the famous patriots? Well, the most known were the men who helped promote the idea of freedom. George Washington, a planter and soldier from Virginia, was chosen to be commander of the Continental Army, called the Father of our country. Washington was a strong leader who held the army together when the soldiers faced many problems. Patrick Henry from Virginia was known as the Son of Thunder. Because of his patriotic speeches, he started many people thinking about freedom when he said, "Give me liberty or give me death." Paul Revere was a silversmith in Boston. He was a leader of the Sons of Liberty, a messenger, and a secret agent for the Patriots. On April 18, 1775, Revere made his famous midnight ride from Boston to Lexington, Massachusetts, to warn the citizens that the British Army was on its way. Revere was captured, but he escaped safely. The next day, the Battle of Lexington and Concord marked the beginning of the American Revolution. John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, and Thomas Jefferson were the most well-known of the committee who wrote the Declaration of Independence. Jefferson did most of the actual writing. The Marquis de Lafayette was a rich Frenchman who decided to help the Patriots. His full name was Marie-Joseph Paul Yves Rich Gilbert de Montier. At 19, Lafayette brought a ship and money to the colonies from France. He asked only to serve and would not take any pay. He was an excellent soldier and helped Washington throughout the war in many ways. A schoolmaster who joined the army at the start of the war, Nathan Hale, volunteered to spy for the Patriots, but was caught by the British before he was hung. It is reported to have said, "I only regret I have but one life to lose for my country." Crispus Attucks was a black man killed during the Boston Massacre in 1770 when 5 people were shot by British soldiers. This event pushed many people to join the Patriots. Women were also interested in rights and freedom. Abigail Adams ran the family farm in Massachusetts while husband John was working in the Continental Congress in Philadelphia. She wrote letters to him reminding him not to forget the ladies, as Congress was writing the laws for the new government. Mercy Otis Warren was James Otis's sister. An excellent writer, she wrote plays that made fun of the British. Printed in pamphlets, her plays were very popular. Later, she wrote 3 books that describe the events of the American Revolution. Phyllis Wheatley was an African girl brought to the colonies as a slave. Bought by the Wheatley family, she learned to read and write and wrote poetry. Phyllis wrote a poem for General Washington and visited him at the Army headquarters. She is known as the first published black woman poet in America. Deborah Sampson dressed in men's clothes and joined the Continental Army in 1782 as Robert Shutliff. She received an honorable discharge for her work as a soldier when her identity was discovered in 1783. Who were the famous Loyalists? Because the Loyalists were on the losing side of the war, their names are not as well known today as those of the Patriots. John Singleton Copley was a painter who painted portraits of Paul Revere and Samuel Adams before leaving for England. It was his father-in-law's tea that was destroyed during the Boston Tea Party. Samuel Quincy was a lawyer whose father, brother, and wife were patriots. It was his duty to try to convict the British soldiers involved in the Boston Massacre. His brother Josiah worked with John Adams to defend the soldiers. Joseph Galloway, right here, was a Pennsylvania delegate to the Continental Congress, but later became the leader of the Loyalists in Philadelphia. He finally joined the British Army and left America in 1778. Dr. Benjamin Church of Boston was thought to be a strong patriot and was head of the doctors taking care of the wounded patriots. But he was really a Loyalist spy who was captured when he sent a coded message to the British officer telling about the size and strength of the Continental Army. He was put into prison for several years and then sent to West Indies and told not to return. Thomas Hutchinson was the governor of Massachusetts. The Boston Tea Party happened when he insisted that the tea be unloaded. Flora MacDonald came to North Carolina from Scotland with her husband, Alan. She has been active in politics before she came to the colonies. Now she rode around the countryside getting soldiers to join the Royal American Regiment. That is the end of today's lesson.